interesting feature with this tent, I'll get into details later, but look at how the poles go together. Metal parts on the inside so it doesn't snag when you slide it through. Brilliant. It only took us until 2021 to figure this out. Perfect. Double door on this thing. Could be worse. So, the supply is heavier than the tent. Good quality. I'm not stressing too much about putting the other hole in the ply here because it's just another layer of insulation, really. It's a cool tent. I had to pick it up because I don't really have one that was small enough to put inside this one. So I had to go grab this little guy. Canadian Tire, of course. They didn't give it to me for free. But it is, looks like really decent tent so far. It would be perfect for like a canoe or a kayak trip or something. It's a little heavy for backpacking, but if you had a few people with you all sharing the gear, it could be quite possible. So, haul a little more stuff in here, and then this will be the outer shell of an insulated tent, the inner shell of another tent. Then I'm going to put some candles in here, in the main tent. I'm not going to put them in this little fire trap here, because that's just asking for it. You can get little holders that will hold them, like lanterns, or put them in clay pots to prevent them tipping over. And I think the safest and smartest thing to do is just to put them right in the snow, because that's not going to catch on fire, I hope. All the good parts are done, and not a moment too soon, because we're losing our sunlight power. And that should certainly qualify me for a little bit of vitamin beer here. Step 2 to help replenish my electrolytes out here. And we do have a remote control temperature sensor thermometer. So I'm going to have one taking the inside temperature and the outside temperature. We'll put that far away from the fire and vehicle so we get an accurate outside reading. We're going to see what we can do with just tea lights. I have carbon monoxide alarm, because if you see a yellow flame, it is giving off carbon monoxide. Maybe not that much for each candle, but it's still putting it out there. And we're looking at like 70 to 80 BTUs per candle flame. So in order to actually do the equivalent of a buddy heater, you'd need like hundreds of them in there. So a buddy heater is about 18,000 BTU. So the math there, the whole thing would burn down to the ground in about a second. Yeah, I'm gonna ration my candles because they last for about 4 hours each under laboratory conditions, which we don't have here. And I'm really relying on just the sleeping bag to get me through the night. And should be down to minus 20 Celsius. Hopefully I'm here in the tent and the tent inside the tent. First things first, my carbon monoxide alarm. These little guys will save your bacon if there's a deadly gas in the area. And here's my thermometer. Now, the top number there is the outdoor temperature, minus 16 Celsius. The bottom one says 0. And the bottom one's what's happening inside this tent. It's designed for in a house, so I think it stops at 0. Because there's no heat going here, and this is clearly not zero degrees in here. So I don't think it actually starts registering until it gets to 0 degrees. So, tea light time. Now I'm going to start with just a few of them in here. to see if we can get some decent temperature rise in this thing versus what's happening outside. I think we'll start with 5. That sounds reasonable, because I know there's 70 to 80 BTU per candle. I got 5 of these on here. It's a very modest heat source, but it is a triple wall insulated ice fishing hut, so that's okay. I did have ambitious plans to try and cook on these things tonight too. However, they don't give off a lot of heat. You're going to have to be using basically pre-cooked stuff that you're kind of warming up in a pot. But it can be done. It wouldn't be boiling water to make noodles or anything. 3, 4. And we're going to end up putting as many of these as necessary in here in order to get this to at least register on the indoor portion of the thermometer. 0 degrees Celsius. I don't want my body heat to affect the thermometer. So, where should I put this? Right on top of the tent. That's a reasonable location. Perfect. Inside the tent. And there are ventilation holes right up there that's open, so there should be some air flowing through. However, let these things burn for a while, and we'll see what it does for the temperature. Yeah, it's still registering 0 degrees Celsius in here. Feels like it. That's for sure. I think it'll take more than 5 candles to work this miracle. So I'm gonna light up a whole bunch more. I'll go for, I don't know, 15 candles total, and we'll see what that can do in here. It's still very sleepable. I can easily sleep in here with the sleeping bag I've got. I'm not concerned about me being warm. It's not a problem at all. I just want to see if I can get the bottom red line on this thermometer to show something other than 0 degrees, 32 Fahrenheit. This one doesn't even have a wick. Oh, one casualty, but I'll eat the rest of these. We'll see what that will do for our interior temperature. I know with enough of these, this thing would be downright tropical. I think they're going to go. The reason I'm not using a pan or anything to put these on is I figured the snow would be good enough, but they do melt into the snow. And I've never tried this before, so this is all trial and error. We'll see what happens here, and if this will start to register a temperature inside here. Hold on, freezing. Nice and warm out here. staying warm by the fire for quite a while, and these candles have actually burned through the snow here, so they need something to stop from doing this. Oh boy, it's way down there. So I'm going to put them on these plates to stop them from melting through the snow. Paper plates, I know. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? But I can bunch in here. It should warm me up quite nicely. And then we will get back out to the fire and continue cooking dinner. Yeah. Time to eat. Usually I have a camping pan, but today I had to bring my home skillet. So, start frying up some sausage. Johnson, be specific. Ground up the sausage, throw in a little water. Because we're gonna try and actually cook some gnocchi, mini gnocchi, mini frozen gnocchi. That'll work okay, I think. Vitamin fire will help that. It's boiling down, so clearly broccoli has to be the healthy denominator in this equation. And looks like a bit there for sure. Boil into smaller pieces. Alfredo in here. And this is just a nice, simple, complicated camping meal. Nothing wrong with that. Let it reduce. And we got some gnocchi, sausage, broccoli, over the counter, Costco. So, yum. Oh, yes. Is this ever good? A little taste. Try not to burn my home skillet. I think it's quite a good meal here. maybe more veggies. I don't see where the broccoli even. Oh, there's one. Healthy. Delicious meal. Tent inside a tent. I don't know where I stand on these tea lights because they didn't raise the temperature in here measurably. But we're at minus 22 degrees Celsius right now. And I can put that into view. Minus 22. And in Fahrenheit, oh boy, it equals minus 7 Fahrenheit. So it's a little chilly, but there's no wind going on. Inside of the tent, I'm sure I'll be just fine. Inflate the old air mattress here, and this I'll put inside of the sleeping bag. So I should be quite cozy tonight. I'm not really expecting any problems, but before the lens fogs up too much more, we are nicely sequestered in the tent within a tent. So before I tuck in for the night, I will give a huge shout out to all the people that have donated to the beer donation fund. You guys are making these crazy adventures possible. This tent I picked up today, I would not have if it wasn't for you guys. So tent inside of a tent, I think we'll do a little more comparisons here and see how it versus just a tent on its own or a sleeping bag on its own or that type of thing. So we'll see you guys in the morning. Thank you all so much. And sorry the lens is fogging up here all the time. Yeah. The joys of minus 22 Celsius or minus 7 Fahrenheit. And I'm scared to even know what that'll be in the morning. Good morning. It wasn't the warmest sleep, but it also wasn't the coldest. I've been colder than that before. Our morning temperature outside is saying 2 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 17 Celsius. Holy moly, looks like everything kind of got reset on here. But our minimum temperature was minus 24 Celsius out there at some point in the night last night. In Fahrenheit, that's minus 11. So yay! You know. Yeah, feels a lot colder outside than in, and there's no really heat source in here other than me. And I give off maybe 300 or 400 BTU, probably closer to 200 if I'm sleeping. So it has managed to capture a lot of that heat. I'll open a couple more windows to make this place a little brighter. So candles, no. I'm not going to mess around with candles again. For the amount of hassle, it's just not really worth it in my opinion. It's a neat idea, but there's only so many BTU a candle can put out. And that BTU is like 80 BTUs, which is not a lot. And regardless of how you assemble it or put clay pots on it, it's not going to increase the heat of that candle. In a car, for a survival situation, that may make the difference between life and death, though, because that little bit of extra heat in a closed-in vehicle could definitely raise the temperature a few degrees. Anyhow, the candles, a no-go. The tent inside of the tent, a cool concept as well. Again, if there was another heat source inside of the tent, it probably would have made a bigger difference. But unfortunately, I don't have a 3-zone thermometer for measuring all 3 different zones. Maybe I'll mess around with that one day and see what we can come up with. But Mr. Buddy Heater, that propane thing, that's probably a way better option than any of these other weird ways to try and heat the tents. So that's where I stand on that whole situation. Anyway, I'm gonna start getting this stuff torn down. This little tent here, I'm pleased with. We'll take this out in the summer or in the spring when it's a little more suited to that type of temperatures. But yeah, that's going to be a great companion on the bicycle or on the rivers, that type of thing. Anywhere I don't have to be stealthy because of its recognizable color. Oh, deflated. That explains what was happening with the discomforting cold. The moment of truth is always, will it fit in the bag? I have good hopes because this is a pretty generous sized tent bag. Let's see what happens. Never in my life have I seen a tent do that. That was under really cramped packing circumstances in here. We didn't exactly have time to put it out on a nice summer day and fold it up perfectly. So, bam, done. Woo-hoo. If you can handle these videos, please don't be ashamed to subscribe. I'll keep it low key. I won't tell anybody. Yeah, we're back usually every Thursday. We try our best. Sometimes things don't go 100% to plan, but for the most part, that's where you can find me. Right here on this channel, every Thursday. So this channel is definitely not an instructional channel. It's not an informative channel. It's not a how-to channel. I don't know if any of these shelters or meals or anything are actually going to work out in real life. So we're just kind of a trial and error channel. Trial and error channel. And if we do find out something along the way, then I guess we may learn. For educational resources, however, there are far better serious outdoors YouTube channels than this. As somebody that sets up and tears down a tent 60 or 70 times a year, these easy up and down hub tents are awesome. Thanks for stopping by, everybody, and we'll see you later. Cheers.
Lowe's knows that as life changes, so do your priorities. Painting the town red takes on a whole new meaning. Powering through now takes power tools. The need for great lighting is actually the same. But the weeknight dance floors look a bit different. And with the quality and affordable Lowe's brands, we'll help make sure you don't have to compromise to keep living it up the way you want to. Get more from our brands for less, only at Lowe's. We help you save.
Welcome to camping with Steve and Crazy Neighbor today. We came back out to what we'd set up last week. We were experiencing some very low temperatures, minus 35 or so, and we were tempted to see how this would work, of course. And yeah, midway through filming, we did get a call at Crazy Neighbor's father had passed. So thank you to all those who have expressed condolences and donated to the veterans, etc. So we're going to take another crack at this today, a week late, but it's a little warmer in temperature. This will be heated with propane. It's something I do so often that I don't necessarily mention it or give the full rundown of heating in the winter inside a tent with propane. So we're gonna get a campfire set up and get the rest of this set up. This is about the third or fourth time we use this new ice fishing shelter. It's not actually a tent. I don't think this is their recommended use for it, but for the price point, can't be beat.
Oh, where to get the other one?
I know the general favorite traditional method to heat your tent would be a wood stove, and I've done that before. I like the ambience, I like the crackle, and they sure heat the tents up. The only downside is you have to keep getting up throughout the night to keep the fire going, or every time I woke up in the morning, I was cold. So as far as convenience goes, I moved on to one of these catalytic, Mr. Buddy brand here. The catalytic ones, the way they're designed to burn is that they should not, under normal operating circumstances, release any measurable carbon monoxide. So in the United States, these are permitted for indoor use. There is a low oxygen shutoff, which is essentially just it's a thermal couple there. And if the oxygen gets too low in the enclosure, the flame trips out and it shuts it off. However, carbon monoxide alarm, that's what I always bring just to be sure. And make sure if it's really cold weather, you put lithium AA batteries in them, because lithium are good till like minus 40. and regular alkaline battery would stop working well before then. So this is 18,000 BTUs. This propane cylinder, they got around 430,000 BTUs in a full 20-pound cylinder. So that you don't want in the tent. So these tents actually have propane portholes here. So you can, they're designed for people to be ice fishing. And this is like the favorite method for heating your tent when ice fishing. So we'll run that through, turn this on to low. We really don't need it too much right now because the sun is shining and it's a beautiful day out. Perfect. Okay, that lit disturbingly easy considering I haven't had propane in that hose for a while. Sometimes you have to bleed the air through the line until propane starts to come out. So, there you go. This model's got the 3 settings. You know, you've got your low, which I believe is 4,000 or 4,500 BTUs. Your medium is 9,000 BTUs, and the high is 18,000. And that should do for most cold weather situations in an insulated type of tent like this. So let that kind of cook a little bit. We are just walking on the snow, which I don't find to be a big problem because we generally have our boots on until we're ready to craft for the night. So, you know, we could have, I suppose, shoveled everything right down to the ground or tried to, but this time of year, there's been so many freeze-thaw cycles that the snow doesn't want to be pushed around like it should. Of course, any fuel-burning appliance is going to need an air supply. These tents actually come with built-in, there's a couple of these, little screened overhang air sources. But I also cracked another little window a bit. 18,000 BTUs. It's 18 square inches. I guess it's not that much when you look at it. But there's air leaks all over these things anyway, so we should be okay. Yeah. When there's daylight is the good time to plan out where the fire pit goes. I'm going to remove the snow off at the top because it does repel the water. You can see it beating down a little bit, but it's not completely waterproof. If that melts, it will come through along the inside a little bit. Okay, shelter's set up. We got our little fire pit area here. We scavenged around for some wood and changed that up a few pieces here and there to complement what we brought from the wood pile last week. We got a little tripod thing we're going to cook on tonight. It's all good. And at this point, all the work's done, so let's get started. Time for just step 2.
Delicious, nutritious.
Delicious, nutritious. Oh, yeah. Rehydrating. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, Steve.
We're going to try to ration this wood a little bit because we do have some, but I know how things will go. We'll be halfway cooked and we'll have to try and go looking around in the dark for more firewood, but oh well. Inside the shack, we turned this on to high to see kind of what the temperature would do. It's getting actually uncomfortably hot, to be honest, so we're going to turn that down. But my readings on my temperature cron say outside is -6 Celsius, which is 21 Fahrenheit. And inside is actually just jumped up to 18 Celsius, which equals 64 Fahrenheit. So
Toasty.
I'd say it's toasty. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it tested in this supreme cold weather that came barreling through. It's usually we get a week or two of that minus 35 Celsius or minus 40, which is Fahrenheit and Celsius. It's the same. Minus 40 is just minus 40. And we'll see what happens with the weather, because they got the weasel that predicts the weather, and it either saw its shadow or didn't, or whatever it's supposed to see, it saw. And, you know, we could be in for an early spring. I don't know. It never seems to happen. So, beautiful wife and I are probably going to take off somewhere, go sequester in the mountains somewhere with a little warmer temperature than here. But we'll see what happens with that. Cheers. Little barbecue starter here. Get ourselves a tried, tested, and true fire.
Make it extra with Baileys.
Hold my beer.
Absolutely.
Issue. Ooh. Flashback. Okay. Just has to start this. There we go. Oh, maybe it was a little cold. I'm not sure what MAP gas vaporizes at temperature-wise. Maybe it just looked like cold for it.
It was sitting.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Probably go. Smell of kerosene barbecue starter.
Love that stuff.
I do too.
Well, I gotta say, Steve, you got a knack for lighting fires.
Thanks. It's certainly warm.
It is.
You ever seen a UFO?
Yeah. I have.
Yeah.
I don't know if those were like aliens. It's just something that I didn't know what it was, but it was pretty weird.
Maybe it's satellite or something.
No, not really.
Hmm.
I was hunting with my buddy Andy in the late 80s. We were in southern Alberta antelope hunting, and beautiful sunny day, and saw this thing up in the sky. It looked like a football, and then there was this spiral of smoke coming down off of it. And really disappointed that Andy didn't take a picture of it. At the time he was working for a small newspaper in Spruce Grove
Mm-hmm.
as a photographer, and he had all kinds of neat camera equipment. And we looked at it and said, yeah, wow, that's really weird. So I never thought to take a picture of it. I don't really know what it was, but yes, the answer is yes, I saw a UFO. I don't think it was alien. Unless it was kind of weird to see.
Mm-hmm. Picked up this little tripod thing this summer, which is pretty convenient. Packs up pretty small. I think I gave the name of it out in another video, but I picked it up from Home Hardware in Canada. It's kind of like a little franchise system of small town hardware stores. Anyhow, got a Dutch oven here, and I picked up some stewing beef. So you could probably guess what we might be making. And stewing beef on there. I just got one of those Clubhouse packages of stew mix. Calls for vegetable oil and ground up beef. But pretty much you just throw everything in and let it simmer after that. So brown this stuff up. Business. No matter what problems you may have in your life, you can never go wrong with onions. This seems to fix everything. Oh, that is hot. Ooh. Oh, well, that's browned up. Camping stew time. I bought Clubhouse beef stew mix. Then I'll put it in with some beef broth. They say to use water, but can't go wrong with more beef broth. And this is not the gourmet hour, Steve, of course. I'm the living example of why becoming a chef takes school. But we'll come up with something. It should be not very gag-inducing. It goes. Stir that up, and then basically we'll simmer it to death until this one goes falling right apart. Bring this actually to the temp. We're going to try and simmer this on the Mr. Buddy heater. It's doing a real good job out here, but we're going to bring the tripod in, set that up on the Mr. Buddy heater, and just see what happens. So, you know, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Here's the deal. We got the tripod over top of the Mr. Buddy heater, and it's been simmering for a little bit here. It's perfect. What can I say? We're both shocked about this, eh?
Very much so.
I didn't think it would work that good. We've got cardboard down on the ground here. I know. What could go wrong? We're just trying to keep the snow from melting right underneath of it and creating a mud puddle. Crazy neighbor had suggested the cardboard. And I'm allowing it, but I'm keeping a close eye on the suggestion here because of the what could go wrong aspect of what we're trying to do here. And yeah, we're going to dump in all our potatoes and peas and carrots into the stew. Don't want to do that too early because basically we're just tenderizing the meat. These are already cooked in the cans. So, not a problem. So that's where we're at now. It's our temperature reading, actually. That would be a good update to provide. Hey! Well, interesting. Outside is minus 15 degrees Celsius, or 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Inside is, well, it was up there, so it's a little warmer up there, but not quite a whole lot. Inside it's 25 degrees Celsius in here, which equates to 76 Fahrenheit.
I'm amazed at how well that's working.
I'm shocked. Okay, I have to say, the body heater, I knew they threw some heat, and I know they have a new model out there. I saw it at Cabela's the other day, and it actually is designed to cook your food and heat your building. They have taken notice that people are doing this type of thing. So there is a new product out there. I forget what it's called. I forget how much it costs, but it exists. So that's a good thing. So we're gonna be eating good tonight in a downright tropical 77 Fahrenheit. Can't go wrong with that. Minus 15 outside. That's Celsius. 6 Fahrenheit. Okay, let's dig into this and we'll see what we got here. She is actually just a beautiful simmer. Time to dump in all the can of potatoes, diced white potatoes. A couple of them probably. Ooh, danger. Yeah, nothing wrong with peas and carrots. Peas and carrots. Okay, we may need a little more. I guess we'll see what happens. It's going to be heavy in the pea department. Oh, look at that meat. It's flaking apart already. Awesome. This is fine. Okay, when I stir it up, it doesn't look like it's pea soup anymore. That's okay. I didn't do mixed vegetables because they had parsnips in them. Yeah, it was, I couldn't believe it. You ever eaten a lemon before, like it was an orange?
Oh yeah.
Really? Just peel it and eat it by this thing?
It's just like an orange. It's not that bad.
Not that bad.
No, really. Taking a little bit of a lemon and then taking the whole stick of lemon. It's once you bite into it, you get that first initial rush.
Yeah, the tartness or the bitterness.
And after that, it's pretty much gone.
Yikes. Okay.
The only reason I ever did that is in my younger days, drinking tequila. We were always drinking tequila with the lemons, and just for, we'll call it St. Giggles one time, we decided, okay, well, let's just go see if we can eat a lemon like an orange. And yeah, it should be done. It's not that bad.
Not that bad. That's the best way to describe. That's
No.
the best way to describe a food. Not that.
What's the worst thing you've ever eaten?
I made iced tea with pickle juice out of a pickle jar.
Good thing we haven't eaten yet, because that would make me hurl, Steve. Iced tea with pickle juice.
To put the crystals right into the juice. The juice out of a pickle jar.
Did they call me crazy?
It is time for dinner. We've got a couple of mismatched bowls. What's it look like in there? It's pretty good to me too. It's why do I feel like I'm working the soup kitchen? Oh, that is so flaked apart. Okay. Grab that guy there. Fork for you. Spooning a little for myself here. Oh, wow. It's like could be tray buns. There we are. The actual finished product. I'm sure actual chefs would be horrified. But what we did, I think, is probably the good use of the word. We've made the decision the cardboard's going to come out of here because Mr. Buddy Heater is listing already, and I can see it tumbling now. You know, we'll get it level, and it should provide stoichiometric combustion throughout the rest of the night, hopefully.